You must love yourself! Now! What if I told you that the reason that you can't heal, relax, or love yourself is that there is a tiny dictator inside of your head, barking orders like a stressed out fascist? And no, this is not a history lesson. This is your nervous system. Inside of your psyche, there is a part that is so terrified of your vulnerability that it does whatever it can to avoid feelings of sadness, weakness, the inner child. And thus it panics, it takes over. And this manager slowly becomes, over time, a tyrant. If we look at this from the perspective of internal family system, then we have managers, firefighters, and exiles. And the exiles are the parts of you that are in emotional pain. These are the suppressed emotions. This is the inner child. It's the job of the manager to make sure that the exile will never come to the light. And therefore, over time, it's probably going to sound like this.
No feelings, no rest, no failure, only productivity.
Does this sound familiar? In Jungian psychology, one of the archetypes is the inner fascist dictator. And this part of you, this manager, might show up in your healing journey as well, wanting to take over. And then it screams to you things like, you must love yourself harder. You must meditate. You must journal. You must be perfect in doing your healing modality. And therefore we have created something magical, a retreat about tyrannical self-love, because nothing says inner peace like emotional fascism. And it's actually logical that we want this, because for many, many years, the manager has been in charge of our lives, and we started identifying with it. We perceive the exile as a danger, and we still do, because otherwise the brain wouldn't create symptoms when these exiles come to the surface. But part of your healing journey is to reconnect with those exiles and to feel those emotions through. It's about becoming whole again. But most people want the manager, who is responsible of exiling the exile, to become their boss, their leader in their healing journey. And by doing so, you are basically going to corrupt any healing modality that you are going to do. Because the goal, as soon as you let the manager be in charge, is to never ever become whole again. But here's the truth. The inner dictator isn't bad. It just saw what happened to you when you were vulnerable, when you were emotional, when you couldn't process your feelings, and how overwhelming it was. And it decided to never ever have to feel that again. And so it took over your personality. But healing begins when we stop fighting the dictator, when we start communicating with it, listening. What is it so afraid of? And how does it feel to be so bossy and so afraid that things might go wrong? And then you might feel that inside of your body. Where do you feel that? Where do you feel that stress from the dictator? And breathe through it. And also, how does it feel to be so bossy against yourself? And just allow that for a while. In my own healing journey, I started sending my inner dictator on all-inclusive resorts to make him relax as well. And by doing that, I immediately started to cry because my inner dictator was extremely overwhelmed from everything itself. And by taking care of your inner dictator, it becomes easier to take care of your exile afterwards. Eventually, the dictator doesn't just disappear, but he becomes reassigned. And he might become responsible for things such as boundaries or planning things. Your inner tyrant can transform itself into someone supportive and kind. I support you. I will take care of you. I love you. If this resonated, then please send this video to someone whose inner dictator desperately needs a holiday. And remember, healing isn't about forcing self-love. It's about creating safety and to step by step interact with all your inner aspects. And therefore, breathe. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I wish you a beautiful healing journey.